Devon Bostick. Rodrick. They are one and the same. This character is, unironically, one of the greatest characters in all of fiction. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but he was a lot of girls and guys' first crushes. Devon Bostick defined a generation, honestly.
Are you wearing eyeliner?
So to say he played Rodrick is an understatement. He is Rodrick. Devon, if you're watching this, get it in your birth certificate. Change your name. That's why when The Long Haul came out, everyone hated the new Rodrick. This wasn't a self-confident douche with a heart of gold. This was just a wannabe cool dude. He isn't Devon Bostick's Rodrick at all. And so we reach Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules. And no, I'm not talking about the cult classic Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules. I'm talking about Disney's Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules. The original, a genuinely fantastic family movie that I could watch whenever and have a great time. It's about brotherly love and trust. Disney's though, trust me when I tell you, it blows. I will never forget the moment I sat down on my computer to watch this movie. I looked at my wallpaper, oh look at that, it's characters from Interstellar Ranger Commence, the Browntable original animated series y'all should be watching. It's on YouTube, check it out. And after admiring my own art, I opened up Disney Plus. I typed in Rodrick Rules, and will you look at that? On the same page as the animated Rodrick Rules is the superior Rodrick Rules. And so, I watched the better one. Yeah, I watched the original first before watching the animated one, and I'll tell you why. Okay, firstly, this is an uncommentary and I can do whatever I want, say whatever I want, dance whenever I want, doesn't matter, I can watch whatever I want to watch and you can't stop me. Secondly, I want to remember the original and compare it to the new one. I could have read the book, but I don't read.
Your illiteracy is screwed as a...
So the second Disney's movie starts. I already remember why I hated the first one. It's bland. There's no life in it. The animation is just really weak, and it bums me out because the first promo image that was released for Disney's Wimpy Kid movies was actually really cool looking. I thought it was gonna have a distinct style, but they just went for weird looking 2D characters made 3D with no distinct visual style whatsoever. And compared to the original film, where it starts and immediately shows you the dynamic between Greg and his brother, this movie just tells you. And it's very boring. Worst of all, weirdest thing they've added into this movie, Greg really badly wants the approval and respect of his brother, which is a huge 180 from what I've come to expect. For me, Greg wishes Rodrick was on his level, someone who could help him, someone he can rely on, not someone he wants to please. Especially since the movie really showcases that Rodrick is a terrible person. Just super gross. Yeah, the dude 100% just shoves fake money in his crotch and digs it out to give to his mom. She takes the fucking money. She grabs his crotch money. Let's say Greg wants his brother's approval. Different, I can get behind it. But holy shit, does he go above and beyond to make sure his big brother is happy. It's to the point of dragging Rowley along, and just once Rowley appears, he just berates and shits on this kid because he's like so dumb.
Whoa! Rowley, what are you wearing?
And listen, this is very important, okay? Rowley, in the original movies, a goat. An innocent angel. In this movie, he is genuinely a self-centered dumbass.
Cool party with like loud music and stuff. You mean a boy-girl party?
By the way, this isn't to say that the movie isn't chuckle-worthy at times. At times it can be pretty funny.
The clock starts now.
That's one moment that gave me a chuckle, and I think there's a total of 5 in this whole movie. But ultimately, the movie's already off to a boring start because we understand that Greg wants to be like the Heffley brothers. He wants to be friends with Rodrick, be a part of his band maybe, but we never know why. And it's hard to attach yourself to his goal considering his brother sucks. Rodrick consistently lies to Greg, saying they're brothers, so Greg will help him. And it's painful to see how Rodrick just manipulates this kid. And worse, Greg just shits on Rowley because Rodrick shits on Greg, and it's like a cycle. It's super toxic. Rowley getting shit on, deserved.
This Tilly's gonna be mad. Celery sticks are in my overnight bag.
Fuck Rowley. As this happens though, you do feel like Greg is a bit of an asshole. And this progressively gets worse, and this is where the animated film departs from the original classic. Instead of Greg outsmarting Rodrick, and the three characters eventually having fun at the party, recognizing that they can enjoy each other's company, the animated film has Rodrick lock Greg in the basement, and Greg just stays there. Greg stays in the basement the whole night. But before the night ends, Greg gets blackmail footage of the party. What makes it worse is that unlike the original film, where they have to clean up after the party they genuinely both participated in and had fun in, Greg joins Rodrick in cleaning up after the party only if Rodrick starts treating him like an equal, and Rodrick will owe him something.
You're gonna owe me.
So the motivations are already different, and it only gets worse. Just a reminder, like the original movie and the book, there is a door that has Rodrick Rules scribbled on it, and they have to replace it. Now, listen up. While Greg and Rodrick in the original film are bonding, and Rodrick teaches Greg his secrets, because he's genuinely starting to love his brother.
It's about time, little bro, that you learn the secrets to an easy life.
Here, Rodrick is forced to teach Greg because Greg is essentially blackmailing him.
You're the one who's getting in trouble, not me. I'm gonna tell Mom and Dad what really happened.
Let that sink in. The entire movie is about two brothers who essentially just blackmail and gaslight each other. It's unreal. And here's a terrible, terrible moment. Rodrick is kinda warming up to Greg. Despite that, Greg still, recognizing the power he has over his brother, dangles the blackmail keys in front of him like he's a dog.
Something did happen on Friday night. Something I should have told you about. I went in the bathroom and I tried to lock the door. I think I must have broken it by shutting it too hard or something. Sorry.
Look at Greg. Look at him. He smiles like a supervillain. That's a psychopath, man. And that's the thing, okay? The original films are superior to the books 100%. I don't care what you say. The reason why is that these characters grow. They change. And Greg, while having misguided intentions, isn't necessarily a bad person. He's just very egotistical. Unlike in the original film, where Greg decides to help his best friend Rowley with a magic show, Greg here dumps the assistant magician job to one of Rodrick's bandmates so he can... I'm not gonna spoil it yet. The reason why will shock you.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10
reasons why Diary of a Wimpy Kid Rodrick Rules is terrible. Reason number one will shock you. Now here's a huge difference. In the original film, Rodrick and Greg are becoming buddy-buddy, and then they get discovered that, they did have a party, and after that, Rodrick is pissed and they're back on bad terms. They go to their grandpa's house and Rodrick makes Greg's life miserable. Which makes sense, right? You can't have these two being toxic to one another before they have a falling out. That would ruin the entire point of the movie because you have to show that they can be good brothers to each other. In Disney's movie, they go to Grandpa's retirement home before they have a falling out, and they are still toxic to each other. Rodrick makes it seem like Greg pissed himself, and then Rodrick doesn't want to give Greg fake money, so Greg has to, yet again, dangle the blackmail keys in front of him so he can give him 100 fake dollars. And it's so weird, man. It gets worse because the moment they return home, Rodrick tells Greg to give him the 100 bucks Greg asked for at the retirement home. They're used as a currency in the Heffley household called mom bucks. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Rodrick asks for the money in return for giving Greg his old science project so Greg can get an easy A. So still manipulating each other. Worse, Rodrick's science project is terrible. So Greg goes back to Rodrick, asks for the $100 back. And here's the kicker, Rodrick knew the science project was bad.
You said this was your best work.
It was. You should have seen my other school projects.
Unlike in the original movie where he sincerely forgot. And you can tell he feels bad about it. In the animated movie, Rodrick goes,
No refunds. A deal's a deal.
and Greg blackmails Rodrick again, this time with proof. He brought the pictures out and he's like, nah, I have this evidence. You are my slave. Rodrick is screwed. Like, he's getting blackmailed left and right throughout this movie. This family is so fucking toxic. Anyways, the family finds out about the party because Greg's mom, Susan, finds the pictures. And Rodrick is grounded and can no longer perform in a talent show with his band, Loaded Diaper. Now, here's where shit gets crazy, okay? Because they have their falling out. During the time they were in the retirement home, Greg hid in the ladies' bathroom at some point, and Rodrick finds out this happened by going into Greg's diary and screenshotting it. Absolute invasion of privacy. And Rodrick spreads this story. This is like the book, by the way. And let me just say, the book is just completely toxic. Everyone's a shit person. It's just miserable. And I guess it's nice to bask in the Schadenfreude, however you say it, you get what I mean. But for the movie, that's different because you can tell that they want these characters to be redeemable. The original movie does this perfectly. The new one fails. In the original movie, Rodrick actually records the incident, but ultimately hands Greg the tape at the end of the movie, symbolizing the trust they now have. Meanwhile, here, Rodrick just spreads that shit immediately. Well, he was going to. It's an accident that it gets spread, but still, like, he was still going to spread it, and it does spread. But just the act of spreading that information, fucked, my guy. And now we're back to the spoiler. Remember when I said there was a spoiler that I wasn't gonna say? We've reached it. This is the stupidest shit ever, by the way. Greg, in like a day, becomes an absolute cracked drummer, my guy. The dude handles drumsticks better than I handle KFC drumsticks, man. I guess in the one day that Rodrick taught him drums, he is now perfect. And on the day of the talent show, Greg ditches Rowley's magician act, an incredibly heartwarming moment of the original film, might I add, to instead drum for Loaded Diaper. That's right. That's right. Greg drums for his brother's band. I think the one his brother created on an important night of his life as an ultimate fuck you. And Rodrick cries, and Rodrick fucking cries. I'm speechless. Disney, you've caught me with no speech. You caught me slacking. You caught me lacking. I don't know. Insane. It's insane. It's actually insane. I never expected to see that, and I laughed out loud when that happened in the movie, out of disbelief. I couldn't say anything. I was just like, like that. I was laughing like that, like a fucking clown. So Greg eventually apologizes to Rodrick in an honestly decently written scene. Like, this is actually the one good scene in this movie. And they somehow become good brothers now, after like a 2-minute conversation, which again, is completely unearned. And so, Rodrick ends up performing in Loaded Diaper despite his parents' wishes, Greg vouches for him, and the movie ends. That's it.
It's over.
So, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes, what did we learn today? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. These two brothers are terrible people. They are awful, and I hate them. It's not even fun to watch them shit on each other. It's just miserable. So 1, hashtag not my Rodrick. 2, do not watch this animated movie. Watch the original movie. The book, it's fine, but the movie, superior. The original movie is a genuine cult classic. I love it to death. It's definitely 100% worth your time, I'm not kidding. And 3rd, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out Interstellar Ranger Commence. Again, it's the original animated series that Browntable is making. Episodes 1 and 2 are already out. Episodes 3, 4, and 5 are coming out this year, and maybe more episodes. Thanks so much, Ethan, for this art of Hope Griffin from Interstellar Ranger Commence. Incredible lighting and anatomy, and the process of making the art piece, that was So dope. Thank you. I loved seeing that. That was great. Thank you so much, patrons, as well, for supporting the channel. Your support really helps us out. Y'all are definitely not wimpy, I'll say that. It's Diary of a Chad Kid, actually. Right now, there's more than 300,000 members of the Brown Table, and if you want a seat at the Brown Table, well, all you have to do is subscribe and turn on notifications, and you'll get a chair. Once you have a chair, well, you can sit at the Brown Table all day long. We have lots of food, lots of love, and a bunch of free diaries where you can write down your day-to-day lives. Don't worry, unlike Rodrick, we will not be leaking your diary information. Thanks so much for coming to the table, and I'll see you all next time.